Most of us envision Disney parks as places brimming with magic, joy, and thrilling adventures. But get ready to venture beyond the dazzling parades and captivating fireworks. Viewcation presents tragic disasters in Disney parks they don't want you to know about. The Peril on Big Thunder Mountain. Disney's parks, where dreams unfold and fairy tales come to life, sometimes have stories that don't have a happy ending. While these incidents are admittedly few and far between, they do serve as a grim reminder that accidents can happen anywhere. In 2003, the festive atmosphere at the park took a somber turn, shrouding the enchanting world of Disney in an air of sorrow and disbelief. On September 5th, the joyful ride on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad transformed into a scene of chaos and dismay. The excitement of the passengers turned into screams of fear as a car partially derailed, causing the death of 22-year-old Marcelo Torres and injuring 10 others. Despite staff noticing unusual sounds emanating from the train earlier, unfortunately no timely maintenance was undertaken to avert the tragedy. Later investigations revealed that inadequate maintenance work was to blame, with certain essential components left unsecured. This incident shook the foundation of the magical world, forcing Disney to accept responsibility in a confidential settlement with the Torres family. A tragic Christmas Eve at the happiest place on Earth. The winter of 1998 brought not joy but sadness to Disneyland, shattering the merry atmosphere that usually graces the park during Christmas. On Christmas Eve, an unforeseen incident unfolded that left a dark mark on Disneyland's history. As the large Columbia ship was docking, an eager employee took a premature step to secure its rope around a mooring post, one that turned out to be fatally mistaken. The mooring equipment, unable to withstand the pressure from the still-moving ship, tore away violently, flying towards the gathered crowd. In this horrific accident, the metal cleat inflicted severe injuries, fatally striking Luan Phi Dawson at the back of his head and injuring his wife as well. Despite desperate attempts to save Dawson, he succumbed to his injuries 2 days later. The tragic event marked one of the few instances where Disneyland assumed full responsibility, culminating in a settlement worth over $20 million. The heartbreaking tale of Brandon Zucker. In the year 2000, a trip to Disneyland turned tragic for young Brandon Zucker and his family. The vibrant 4-year-old boy's life changed forever when he fell from a taxi cab on the Roger Rabbit cartoon spin ride. Before anyone could react, another vehicle rolled over him, causing Brandon to sustain irreversible brain damage and severe physical injuries. Despite the efforts of the emergency personnel, who managed to free Brandon after 10 grueling minutes, the injuries were too severe. The joyous spark in Brandon dimmed, leaving him unable to walk or speak again. Years passed with Brandon enduring a painful struggle until finally on January 26, 2009, he succumbed to his injuries. The heartbreaking tale brought to light the failure of Disneyland employees to secure Brandon's lap bar properly, resulting in the park making vital safety modifications to the ride. Although the Zucker family settled with Disney out of court, the incident remains a sorrowful chapter in the park's history. A horrifying ride on It's a Small World. In a moment that sparked widespread concern, Jose Martinez found himself trapped in what seemed to be a never-ending cycle of the Disney tune It's a Small World. Due to a computer glitch on November 27, 2009, the ride malfunctioned, leaving Martinez, a quadriplegic man, stuck for a prolonged 40 minutes. In an unfortunate oversight, Disney was able to evacuate all passengers promptly except for Martinez and his wife. The incident spotlighted the pressing need for proper evacuation procedures for individuals with disabilities. As if the extended period on the ride wasn't enough, Martinez was later subjected to a personal rendition of It's a Small World by Mickey Mouse, a gesture he likened to insult to injury. Eventually, a jury recognized Martinez's ordeal, awarding him $8,000 in March of 2013. Unexpected calamity in Frontierland. On a seemingly ordinary day at Disneyland, a massive 20-foot oak tree came crashing down without warning, causing chaos and panic in Frontierland. On May 6, 2001, the sudden fall injured 27 guests and 2 cast members near a loading dock for one of the Rivers of America rides. The park's rescue team was quick to respond, arriving just 4 minutes later. However, they discovered that 5 guests were still trapped under the heavy oak. The emergency tragedy required 10 ambulances to ferry 15 injured people to nearby hospitals. This included 3 children aged 2, 3, and 4. It was later presumed that the tree, which had been standing for about 40 years, was weakened by strong winds in the preceding days. Luckily, no life-threatening injuries were reported, and the area was swiftly cleared by the park's crew. A devastating moment at the Indiana Jones adventure. At times, the thrill and excitement of a ride can mask the lurking dangers that might be just around the corner. This was the grim reality for Christina Moreno, a 23-year-old woman who had the misfortune of experiencing a tragic accident during her visit to the park. On June 25, 2000, she boarded the Indiana Jones adventure ride, expecting a thrilling experience, but she exited the ride feeling unwell, with severe headaches that persisted for months. Tragically, she passed away in September of the same year due to a brain aneurysm, which her family attributed to the ride. Although the park was not held legally responsible, the incident raised serious concerns over the safety protocols in place, urging the park to enhance its measures to ensure guest safety. A frightening incident on the Disneyland Railroad. Even the happiest place on Earth isn't immune to the dangers that lie outside its gates. On February 12, 1990, an 8-year-old girl named Nayeli Diana Placentia experienced a terrifying incident that no one could have anticipated. While enjoying a ride on the Disneyland Railroad, she was struck by a stray bullet, the result of reckless gunfire in the neighboring communities. Miraculously, surgeons were successful in extracting the bullet lodged in her lower back, facilitating her full recovery. In a show of goodwill, Disneyland offered to cover her medical expenses, acknowledging the bizarre nature of the incident and the potential tragic outcome had the bullet struck just a few inches off its mark. An unforgettable day for a young girl. In the midst of a joyful visit to Disneyland, 6-year-old Priscilla Figueroa experienced a horrific event. On January 21, 2001, Priscilla encountered a severe accident while playing on a playground within a park. She fell from the playground equipment with her finger caught in a toy gun trigger, resulting in the loss of 2/3 of her left index finger. The incident brought attention to a loophole in the law which doesn't require the reporting of accidents that happen on stationary rides, thus freeing Disneyland from any official reporting obligations. The unprecedented lightning strike at Rise of the Resistance. On an ordinary fall day in 2022, an extraordinary event caught the attention of guests at Disney's Hollywood Studios. A bolt of lightning struck Galaxy's Edge, with an intensity rivaling a blast from Darth Sidious himself. The event was so immense, it resulted in the temporary closure of a much-loved ride, Rise of the Resistance. As you can imagine, the lightning strike must have been pretty massive for Disney to shut down its most popular attraction for a whole day. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever visited Disneyland? Let us know in the comments section below.